am going to follow along a project that Dede Willingham is doing on her channel. And rather than explain the whole concept, I am going to put links to Dede's videos in the description box below. And I would tell you that if you're interested in doing this project, to go listen to Dede's videos. They are very interesting. She holds my attention, and the project is just really an interesting project. She calls it the Mini Magazine Idea Collection. There's a setup video, part 1 and part 2, out there now. This entire concept just fascinates me. She's using 2 magazines and she cuts them horizontally, and then she stacks them up so that she has a stack of 4, and that's where she gets the term mini magazine. I like to work on just a little bit larger surface. These magazines that I have are the Capper's Farmer and the Midwest Living, and I measured them, and they're just about 8 by 10.5. So I'm going to go ahead and use that size. Also, I don't want to have to fool with cutting them down there. I'm just happy with that setup. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue these magazines together. You'll be gluing the back of the first to the front of the second and all the way through. Then, after they're all glued together, you glue the spine and put a cover on it. So I know that I'm going to follow along with this project. It just fascinates me. Some of her techniques fascinate me, and I want to try this out. She recommends using a really strong glue. I'm going to use Aleene's super thick tacky glue. I'm using magazines that I found around the house. The Cappers I got at the library. They were finished with them, and I really do like this Capper's Farmer. Used to get the Capper's Weekly, but I love the old photographs that they put in there. And they're the same size, and that's why I chose them. I didn't choose them for the art or pictures in there. I'm going to use what's there. I noticed this one is a fall issue, and the other issue that I have for Midwest Living is a Christmas issue. So my idea book, what pictures I have remaining, may be very seasonal, and that's okay with me. Now I will say this, spreading this glue with a plastic, actually it's a plastic holder for a pair of Foster Grant eyeglasses that I got. But I was in a hangout today with Cindy Seinzetter, and I was complaining about my glue technique. I say I glue like a kindergartner, and she recommended using a plastic piece like a credit card. So I'm using this, and I do like that technique a lot, especially when I'm working in my glue book. Now my magazines are glued together. I feel like I have a nice strong bond there. I tried to make them very even on the bottom and on the spine, and I think they're not that even on this border. Some of them may stick together at the top. I might have to work some of these loose. I tried to keep the glue as clean as possible in here so that I can have a nice, so that the pages turn easy. What I like about this Midwest Living, it has some interesting inserts like this. Advertisements. So it's going to be an interesting project. This is where I am on constructing this book. I'm following along with Dede Willingham. I did a lot of this off camera because, well, to be honest with you, I have to get my head right up to it to see what I'm doing, and I just don't want my head in the way. So basically, I glued them together, and then when that dried, I put a piece of black poster board on there, and I used, this is mailing tape. This is not washi tape, this is mailing tape. This cover is a part of a 2017 calendar. It's a calendar page I glued on the front. The inside cover is actually from an older issue of the Smithsonian magazine. As I'm looking for images for my glue book projects, I had acquired some Smithsonian magazines, and they had an article a couple years ago about 101 American objects. And this is a photograph of the Lewis and Clark compass. And that just interests me. This was another article, and I'm not sure which magazine I pulled it out of, but it's about storytelling. And I thought, well, that's really appropriate for this idea gathering project. So on these two pages is where I'm going to write my who, what, when, where, why, and how. I'm going to do that with the fine line paint applicator. You'll be seeing me use this a lot, especially if I use paint on these pages. I might write fairly large, but that's okay. That's what I want. I think my page is dry enough to work on now. There are some wet areas in here, but I'm going to be very careful when I work in that area. Now, Dede uses magicals on her pages for this project. She likes them because when they dry, they are permanent. I do not have magicals, but I have ink tints, and I do enjoy using my ink tints. So I am going to go in here with my who, what, when, where, why, and how with different colors. And this will sort of be a stained glass page. And then over here on this side, I'm going to repeat the words, just print them out, who, what, when, where, why, and how, with a Molotow paint marker. this is where I'm at on it. This is where I'm going to end for this video. I painted out the text on these 2 pages. It's very wet. I'm going to let it dry. And I wrote who, what, when, where, why, and how here. I might go over this again with a black Sharpie marker because this is just a magazine page here. There's not paint on this. I do like the Molotow paint marker, and I may be using that on the white craft paint. This is very much just abstract, just who, what, when, where, why. I think of it as sort of a stained glass effect, just kind of stones thrown on there, just circles and questions, just kind of mind mapping, looping together. That's my concept there. But I like it anyway. I like the different colors and the play on that. And it's just me experimenting. And that's what this is all about anyway. Off camera, I'm going to be painting out pages in various spots in this magazine journal. This will be an interesting concept. In a way, it doesn't have all the pretty pictures on it. This is an idea book. So it'll be interesting to see what this all inspires. I'm very happy with the cover and the back cover. This inspires me, and this inspires me. The storytelling inspires me. I might do more to this. This just says there needs to be something more here, but I'll get there. I like this. I think I'll come in again with a black marker here and make those words pop a little bit more. I like the concept of it being storytelling. Go check out Dede's videos. I'll put links to her. She's up to 3 parts now, and I'll put links to her videos in the description box below. I'm calling this a tag-along video. It's me tagging along with her project. She's inspired this. Thank you, Dede. I can't wait to see where this all goes. I will see you on the next page.